What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We're going to have a little sit down today because we're going to talk about oil. And you can call me whatever you want. You can say whatever you want down in the comments. It's kind of encouraged at this point in time because what we're talking about is wet clutch compatible oil. Now, this is something that was brought to my attention less than a decade ago. Growing up, playing with motorcycles, all that kind of stuff growing up, all we ever put in was car oil. Dad would bring home Castrol GTX. We put it in the bikes. He put it in all his motorcycles. It was one of those things. We put automotive oil in motorcycles for decades, and there was never any problem. All of a sudden, this wet clutch compatible oil is out, and your clutches don't slip. Well, a clutch in itself is kind of contradictory to what oil is supposed to do anyways. Oil is a fluid that creates a liquid barrier between two rotating objects so that they don't intersect each other and things roll smoothly. Things move smoothly. It keeps the liquid gap in there. Oil is specific thicknesses because certain components need certain amounts of gaps. Because certain components need certain gaps to keep from other components intersecting. It's just the way mechanical devices work. You need oil in there to keep the barrier so that everything rolls like it's supposed to. It's a lubricant. You can't take vegetable oil from the house and put it in a motor and expect it to last long. Vegetable oil is not thick enough. It does not create a harsh enough barrier, and it'll get slung out of the way. Now, clutches in themselves are contradictory to this because they're metal and fiber plates that smash together so that they don't slip. You pull in the clutch, you separate the plates, the transmission free spins. You don't go anywhere. You let the clutch out, everything touches, everything pushes together. You go someplace. I was going to include automatic transmission fluid in this because I've seen people use automatic transmission fluid in their two-stroke belts, and I've always seen the transmissions grenade because automatic transmission fluid does not have enough barrier to protect the components like they're supposed to be protected. Now, with that said, I have seen people use on many occasions over the decades on race bikes and everything else, differential fluid, standard transmission fluid, gear oil. This is not wet clutch compatible, but yet they're putting it in their 250R race bikes and they're winning races with it, and they're competing and finishing in the top 3. Their motors are solid. Everything stays together. The transmissions are never hurt. Stinks like hell. I absolutely hate differential fluid or gear oil, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely hate it. But it works, and that is not wet clutch compatible. They're getting the stuff off the shelf, 90, 110 weight gear oil, Valvoline, whatever, and they're dumping it in their two-stroke motors, and it works. So I'm calling bullshit on this wet clutch compatible oil. It's something to mark up the price of the oil for the motorcycle industry. That's what I'm screaming. Now, if you guys have any kind of insight on you've seen it smoke clutches, let me know. Post videos. Go to my Discord. There's links down below that you can link videos to stuff. I want to see your smoked clutches because you didn't use wet clutch compatible oil. I don't buy it. I call bullshit, and I will stand on that hill. I've gone too many years using automotive oil in motorcycles to say it's not wet clutch compatible. Bullshit. It works. It works fine. Now, you will see in my personal 250R for the past 10 years, I've been using Gear Saver 80 weight two-stroke transmission fluid. It's a race bike. This is a race shop. Use correct fluids when you're supposed to. Use correct fluids in things. That way stuff lasts the longest times. Not saying that I couldn't be running automotive oil, and I'm not saying that this thing hasn't lived on automotive oil. I've had this trike 15 years. This thing has lived on automotive oil until I really got big into the racing industry and stuff about 10 years back and started really focusing on the race industry. I've been building motors and stuff like that 35 years plus. This is nothing new. I just all of a sudden decided that we're going to focus on a certain small niche, and that's what the shop focuses on. You're not going to see side-by-sides. You're not going to see utility quads or any of that stuff. It's going to be race bikes, race toys. This KX over here is getting converted to a three-wheeler. I do a lot of custom work. That's what we do here. At the same time, I'm going to call bullshit on things. Wet clutch compatible oil, if it's automotive oil, run it. I've not seen anything different to say that you cannot run automotive oil in a bike. I've been doing it for decades. My family's done it for decades. I know plenty of people that do it daily, all the time. Don't fall for the gimmicks. That's all I got to say. You guys have anything you want to chime in on this? It's a little bit of a long-winded rant, but at the same time, you got to bring light to some of this stuff, because if you don't bring light to it and you don't question it, then people won't know. And from what my experience has been in the industry, I've built thousands of bikes. I've been doing this for decades. This is nothing new. 35 plus years. Automotive oil only recently started using motorcycle oil. Tony picks out his own oil for his KTMs and his Yamahas and stuff. He's an AMSOIL guy. I will run AMSOIL Dominator for premix. I will not run AMSOIL in any of my builds. AMSOIL has a very low burn off rate, meaning that low temperatures will make that stuff evaporate and burn off in the motor. So I'm not really fond of that. If I'm going to be using any kind of oil, it's going to be Maxima, Bel-Ray, something like that. Even factory oil, Yamaha oil, that's good stuff. They're not bad oils. Coolant's the same thing. It's as long as you're using something that's quality, you're not going to go wrong. You can use green coolant. I personally prefer Engine Ice. Other people like Evans. It's really, some things are just a matter of opinion. Yes, certain ones will show small gains and small improvements over the other, but are the gains really that much? We turned around on the three-wheeler page quite a few years ago, and we said painted, powdered, polished, or raw cylinders for air-cooled engines run cooler. And somebody turned around and they did the test. And the funny thing was, there was only about a 5-degree variance between all of them. So it just goes to show that 5-degree variance is nothing. You can do whatever you want to those cylinders unless you pack them full of something or they're not going to cool off at all. Paint, powder, polish, it doesn't matter. Matt, 5 degrees is nothing critical. If there was a 10-15 degree difference in between them, yes, that's something to look at. What's this do coolest? This makes the hottest. That's different. With the oils, it's the same way. You've got gear oil, you've got engine oil, and then you've got the specialty motorcycle oils. You've got synthetics and conventionals. Everybody will tell you something does a little bit different. And sure, the additives will do a little bit this way and a little bit that way. But at the end of the day, it's engine oil. It's designed to go in an engine. The clutches are designed to do what they're going to do. Oil's supposed to be slippery. How is there an additive specifically for motorcycles so that the oil is only less slippery when it works in the clutch area, but it's not less slippery and it doesn't sling out of the bearing areas and the gears and anything else that is meshing at really high rates? How is the oil sticking to the gears and not just slinging off so that they're dry gears when they turn back around? it's oil. It's designed to cling to stuff. It's designed to lubricate. It's designed to put a friction barrier in the way of moving components. Argue with me down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. I've got a couple of other ideas that are along the same lines that it will just twist people's keys to try and get them to comment. Because, yeah, some of these things I call snake oil, I call bullshit on, because I've not personally seen it. In my decades of doing this, I've been in shops, I've been in dealerships, I've run my own show, I've seen thousands of motorcycles in my lifetime. It's not like I'm only working on 1 or 2 bikes, not only working on my personal stuff. I see many motorcycles weekly, monthly, yearly. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. We've got memberships on the channel. We're live streaming on the Sawyer Custom Gaming channel. You want to come hang out, you want to talk about this kind of stuff, by all means. Yes, it's a gaming channel, but we talk about all kinds of stuff, from music and recording to fish and bikes and builds and all that kind of stuff. So it's me, everything are all my channels. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what niche it's in. If it's a live channel, you want to come hang out and chat and talk, by all means, bring it. Let's go. Let's have some conversations about this stuff. Let's have some fun. Let's teach them stuff to each other. That's what this is all about. The older generations like me that know all these cool little tricks and stuff like that, and a lot of the forgotten arts, we're dying out. We got to pass it to somebody. So come revel in the knowledge, and don't forget, subscribe, comment, hit that like button, share the video. Let's get on with this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.